Hi everyone. We have with us Jorge Davis, who's the regional head of ARCON. He's here with us to give us a perspective of what the business is like in the APAC region. So hi George.
Hi Roshan, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So George, give us a little idea of what the business is like for ARCON in the APAC region.
Yeah, taking care of ARCON in the APAC region is a bit challenging, mostly at this very difficult time with pandemic at the moment.
Right.
But ASEAN region is currently growing very much, and it's expected that by 2022 we'll be having a GDP of more than 4 trillion. And taking care of Asian region like Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia. So all of these countries are expected to grow by year 2022. Currently, we are at 3.1 trillion USD, and it's led by Singapore and Malaysia.
Together. So business looks good in the APAC region, please.
Right.
Excellent. All right. Now, what according to you is the state of cybersecurity in the APAC market?
Oh, APAC. So what happened is that during this time of pandemic, right, the year 2020 has brought a lot of challenging and unpredictable scenario.
Mm-hmm.
It was a year when society restructured people's daily lives, work, shopping, and even play. So the COVID-19 pandemic has led governments and businesses to speed up digital transformation. And although this transition has its benefits and will bring immense potential in the long run, cyber criminals are quick to exploit the situation to their advantage.
Right.
So the year 2020 was also another wake-up call for many investors in investing in cyberspace to make sure that they are secure during this pandemic. So while many businesses are being heavily impacted by the pandemic, cyber attacks and incidents also lead to huge financial losses due to the loss of business activity and hefty fines imposed by the government regulatory for failing to protect their data. So which put a lot of companies out of business.
Okay.
So cyber attacks have resulted in negative impact on individuals and even nations, ranging from stress to life depression. So cyber attacks is a data breach that has been ranked among the critical risks to economic development. And on average, there are like 3.86 million on the average in APAC alone for breach for data breaches, and it's getting worse as the days goes by because of this current pandemic.
Okay. So that of course it means that a lot of thing is happening. So basis that, what kind of shifts are you experiencing in the cybersecurity space?
As we all know that businesses are disrupted, right? So according to the Global Digital Report, the average internet penetration rate in Asia is 77%.
Okay.
With Singapore and Malaysia registered the highest of 85%. So what does this mean? It means that the increasing reliance on the internet has created a large number of security threats that can immense damages and eventually increase the number of online scammers who are impersonating as a government officials and Ministry of Health just to get the people's confidential details by fraudulent means.
Right.
And no country or organization in the APAC region is spared the threats of fast evolving cyber crimes. Given their position among the fastest growing digital economy in the world, ASEAN members countries have become the prime target of cyber attacks. It impedes trust and resilience in the digital economy, which eventually prevent the region from realizing its full digital potential if nothing is done.
True.
So it's a very big shift currently in APAC region for cybersecurity space.
Absolutely. Which also means there's a lot of potential for Arcon as a business to grow in that market.
Definitely.
Right. Now, Arcon is the leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant for PAM. How do you feel about it? Is there more pressure in being part of the leader in Gartner's MQ?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, of course, we are very excited about being in the leader quadrant. As most of the bid or tenders here in ASEAN is that you need to be in the leader zone in order for you to participate. So it's quite, they're very much brand concerned region. So you need to be in the leader zone in order for you to be able to do business here. So we have more pressure actually being in the leader quadrant because we cannot be complacent. We have bigger challenges, and there's a lot of things to be done. Mostly, we are now moving fast in our digitalization and IoT era where security in this ASEAN space are still lagging. So one of the things that I learned about when I was in Dell managing APAC region on how to maintain being in the leader zone is that we need to be proactive, adaptive to rapid, both constant and disruptive changes. So I think that's the secret on how we can be more consistent and sustainable in terms of being a leader in Magic Quadrant.
True. In fact, it is an exciting time for Arcon. Now, Arcon is also recognized as the customer choice by gartners. What kind of feedback do you receive from the current customers, prospects, and partners from this recognition?
Well, it's very interesting because we receive great feedback, not only from our client, but also from our partners. And it gives us great energy and positive energy. And we believe that by having this kind of feedback is good. It's good to have because, in ASEAN region is all about relationship and the IT world is very small. Everybody knows everyone here. So once you have that small feedback, great feedback, mostly from a global standard perspective, it helps a lot. And to maintain that good feedback and relationship is that we need to be transparent, passionate about our clients so that we can have a long-term based relationship and successful relationship, I believe, that we should maintain.
True. So relationship is not only, I think it's a basic foundation, not only in the APAC region, but everywhere, I suppose. That's the common denominator for everybody.
Exactly. Right.
True. Okay. Now, Arcon again has made a remarkable growth journey over the last few quarters. How has been your experience being a part of this journey?
Yeah, again, it provides a tremendous boost, Roshan, because we are penetrating in a new region where branding is a concern. Like if you go to Vietnam, the first thing they will ask you is that, where are you in Gartner? Or are you in the leader? Or are you in Challenger? Or are you in Forrester? So all of this mostly in Philippines. If you go to Singapore mostly, they expect you to be in this zone. Mm-hmm. And given the remarkable growth with Arcon historically, it really helps, and companies start asking about Arcon, which eventually makes my life much more easier to talk about our solutions, given the feedback and recognition from the respective global standard organization.
True, absolutely. In fact, George, my very next question is that because of the pandemic-induced growth and a lot of other factors coming into place, Arcon has been a great player in coming and emerging out as one of the leaders. From that perspective, how do you see the role of a CIO or a CTO and the CISOs changing over the next few quarters?
During this difficult time of pandemic, actually the CIO or the CISO have vital roles in making sure that the organization function effectively and contain this pandemic. So
Right.
there should be a lot of measures to be implemented. And these challenges will allow them to play greater leadership role in redefining the future of the business. So if you look at the trends of cyber attacks or cyber threats in 2020, a lot of business email compromise or BEC, they call it, are the most common threats in cyber. So phishing, ransomware, e-commerce, all that crime, even cyber fraud and cryptojacking. These are the imminent threats that is currently attacking the digital space. And again, the CISO will have a very vital roles to make sure that all organizations are well protected and the users are aware and they should be made aware that being at home, they are very vulnerable in having this kind of threats, and eventually will bring them up to the organization by connecting online and eventually bring up all this uh, ransomware or phishing that we have in the physical notebook or desktop, and will easily spread without if protective or preventive measures are not being implemented by the CISO. So yeah, again, they will have a greater responsibility to define the success of the businesses.
True. So I think all the IT heads and the stakeholders have to continuously be on their front foot in the years to come and the months to come.
Totally agree.
Right. Okay. Now, George, with work from home becoming a norm, what kind of tools, product do you think are a must to have for any organization to protect its data?
Well, again, work from home, the employees are at much greater risk than those in offices.
Right.
Because as you know, work at home, you are less secured. You know, you will receive a lot of spam emails, personal emails, and the moment you click it, eventually it will go into your system.
Right.
And then the moment you connect to your VPN, you're carrying a virus inside your laptop, and it will spread to the company's network. So it's very imperative that we equip companies and their employees with the right solution tool to protect the organization from fraudulent attacks. And I believe we are in the right business, in the right time, to make sure that we are able to add value to these companies and protect the environment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. How do you think ARCON fits in with the customer's need to manage its security posture?
Okay, the ARCON will benefit mostly for how we are able to contain all these cyber attacks or prevent.
Right.
In fact, the majority of insiders and advanced cyber attacks happen when endpoint privileges are easily available. So to protect endpoints, access privileges to critical application must be granted on a need-to-know and a need-to-know basis. So in addition to that, authorization and validation of digital identities ensures that the endpoint privileges are accessed only by authorized users. So in ARCON, we have this endpoint privileges privilege management or EPM, which is highly efficient tool to protect endpoints. Then again, we have some of the most famous cyber attacks that happen due to the lack of adequate privileged access management practices. The database, servers, mission critical applications were compromised as security stack lack MFA or multi-factor authentication, and decision monitoring to terminate suspicious IT and privileges activities. So again, we have PAM, which is part of a broader defense in-depth strategy for endpoints. So this is very essential for containing cyber attacks. So PAM enables first efficiently moving and manage local admin rights, and at the same time, it provides flexible just-in-time access and enforce application. And I believe that this ensures to keep remote workers productive and secure environment.
Right. Interesting. One more question, George. From the solutions perspective, the kind of tools that Arcon has, do you think there is a difference in the features of the tools which are offered by Arcon? Are they different in different regions? So does APAC region have a different set of solutions features wise? And does another region, would it have different features?
I believe that Arcon is offering a global touch solutions where uniformly we have the same solution across the region. But then again, if you look at the market in ASEAN region, we have limited in terms of budget. So we can limit some of the features or to meet the demands and to meet the budget for security.
Right.
I forgot to mention earlier that during pandemic 2019, the whole ASEAN region increased their IT budget for cyber security by 73%. Singapore was the leader for that, 85%, followed by Thailand and Indonesia, around 78%. So again, being only during the pandemic that we start increasing the budget for IT security, and eventually we can offer whatever we offer outside of the countries we offer in the ASEAN region since they increase their budget. So in a way, we are able to protect them in a full and complete solution within their environment.
Excellent. Well, thank you, George, for sharing your insights. I definitely learned a lot from the insights that you shared. Thank you so much for sparing time for this conversation today.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, George.